Welcome to Game 2 of the series. Siddolio had a pretty impressive Game 1. Matchup has not changed. It's going to be Soviets versus Oberkommando West again. So, 11-minute victory for Siddolio. 496 victory points. Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal opening to this series for Cradled Cat to try to recover from. Hopefully his allied play is a lot stronger than his Axis play, although I'm already confused as to what he's doing with his combat engineers. Just capture this point. Maybe he couldn't decide if he wanted to tech up or not. Well, too late now. Double conscript opening, Siddolio going with double Volksgrenadier, SWS making its way towards the middle. Sternpio's grabbing some territory. Just pretty standard stuff. Gonna spread out, get territory captured. We saw no commander, I don't think, in Game 1. If he chose one, he didn't use any of its features. Just one with conscripts. Just conscripts until he won. And a half-track. I don't think we saw any commander features from either player. I mean, it was a pretty short game, so in all fairness, not a whole lot of commander features were available to be chosen.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
But, we've got counterattack, terror, shock rifle versus spec ops, scavenge, and Luftwaffe. See how this game goes. Siddolio already off to a slightly better start here in the opening with his Sturms. Circles around the house, but he does not get inside. Looks like he's not sure what he wants to do exactly. There's the second squad of conscripts right there. It looks like Siddolio may be forced to disengage away from the central village with this squad entirely, since he's falling quite low now. And you really don't want to take any model losses. You basically want to inflict as many kills / model losses with your Sturms as you can without losing any models on them in return, and then get them out for healing. Which in this case didn't go very well for Siddolio. He's already quite close to losing models on that, so he's just going to use them to backcap for now. Probably the sensible thing to do. Volksgrenadiers spreading out quite wide in the opening of this game, by the way. No attempt by Siddolio to set up an aggressive forward base in the central village with his half-track, so I'm guessing tier 3 from him into flak half-track, which can be difficult to pull off on this map, but seems like a pretty reasonable choice. Volksgrenadiers engaging against combat engineers here in the south. Wow, 2 lucky snipes on those combat engineers, very nice. That's probably not the engagement necessarily won, but it's going to mean they can't stick around on the front line or do anything, especially with a flamethrower in the opening. Volksgrenadiers are just going to defend this cutoff for now. Volksgrenadiers engaging conscripts up here in the north from inside of a building will at least hold this general area. That cutoff is in Soviet control, which means Siddolio will not be able to benefit from the north munitions, but he is benefiting from the south, so he's off to an excellent start for map control. Extremely good, in fact, if he takes control of both of these fuel points. Most Soviet forces are concentrated in the center right now, and Siddolio is generally just ignoring them and taking control of the entire map. Soviet player not really winning any engagements anywhere. Not losing them either, and Siddolio is just taking the map faster. Conscripts are moving to put pressure on those Volksgrenadiers, but they will be able to secure building control because that combat engineer squad retreated. Second combat engineer squad here in the base is going to go tier 1, and Siddolio has already chosen to go tier 3, and pretty much be able to counter that decision once his flak half-track hits the field. It's kind of a late tier 1, I'm guessing, for M3. We'll see what he chooses to do. The conscript squad here in the north cutoff was forced away by Volksgrenadiers in the house, which will leave their position. Sternpio is grabbing the point, and Volksgrenadiers are moving to fight against these conscripts in the central village, maybe with superior numbers. 3 squads of Volksgrenadiers, 1 squad of conscripts in the middle road, 1 in the church. 2 clustered here on the south fuel. That squad in the building was forced to retreat. Volksgrenadiers do have a green cover position, and Molotovs have been researched. With Molotov research, he should be able to win the engagement for the middle easily enough. Once these 2 squads move to support. Flak half-track is in production, M3 is almost done as well.
We have a new scout car at our disposal.
Hoorah into close range on that squad, forces the retreat, and there they go. These two squads still doing okay. Sturmpio's moved up on the flank to do a little bit of extra damage to that squad, and they're focus firing those Volksgrenadiers right now, so Sturms are taking no damage. But the M3 with the flamethrower is about to catch them. Grenade into the church just did a lot of damage to that squad. It might get wiped. Flamethrower on the Sturms forces them out. That conscript squad looks like it's going to get wiped. There's the wipe. M3 moving to try and counter. If it can chase down that Sturmpio squad on retreat, it'll be an excellent trade. The flak half-track is on the field, though. A little slow to get in range to support against this M3. There's the full retreat from Siddolio away from that flamethrower, but it doesn't look like anything's going to get wiped, and that flak half-track is now well within range to punish that M3 if it did anything overly aggressive. Which, it looks like it is getting overly aggressive. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do. He's far too late to chase. He might die to the base defenses. Black half-track is still stationary, though. What's that M3 doing? He should not get in range of this thing. I'm surprised Siddolio isn't moving to try and kill that. I guess he doesn't want to get too close to any conscripts that might sink him on the ice or something. Or AT grenade swarm him. Volksgrenadiers move to take building control. Flak half-track circling around. This M3 is going to go take control of Siddolio's cutoff in the north, and one squad of conscripts is working on the munitions here in the south. Flak half-track moves into the central village to force this retreat, or wipe. I think they'll get away. Maybe. Yes. Volksgrenadiers grabbing this strategic point next. And still no commander selection from either player. Both of these players seem to like waiting a really long time to pick. Cradled Cat's at 2 CPs. He could get shocks or something. I don't know if shocks would be a good idea, but he could. Or guards or whatever, right? No, he has shocks on all 3 of these, so shocks. He must really like shock troops. And Siddolio doesn't have quite as much pressure to pick right now. I don't know, if he wants to spend 300 on Jaegers somewhere on this map, that's always really good on Samoski Winter. If you'd rather wait for Fallschirm Jaeger, that's 3 CPs. Spec Ops doesn't really, I don't know, whatever. He could pick that for infiltration grenades at 3 CPs as well. So, he can still wait a little while to decide what he really wants to do. There's the aggressive battle group from Siddolio. Now that he has the flak half-track available to protect it, he feels a little more comfortable with that aggressive forward position. I don't think Cradled Cat has access to a heavy mortar, but he does have access to a B4 and ML20, so there's plenty of indirect fire available to him. They're late game options, though, no early game options. And he has gone tier 2 after tier 1. Kind of interesting to see so much tier 1 to tier 2 so far today. And he's going to get himself a field gun out of that to try and counter the flak half-track, and maybe also put pressure on this truck if he can get a line. Ooh, that's not a good retreat path. Through deep snow. That's an easy wipe.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
Easy wipe. Volksgrenadiers move to take control of the victory point right there. These 2 squads of conscripts moving towards the middle. The sheer quantity of manpower he spent on tech is really hurting him, though. He's only now, first of all, he's lost at least 1 conscript squad. Has he lost more than that? I don't think so. Yes, he has. 2 wipes. 2 conscript squads wiped. And he built both tech structures. And he researched both of these upgrades, meaning his army is so small compared to Siddolio's. Who's even floating more manpower than him, too.
We are losing territory.
There goes that squad. That's basically half of his army. He only has 2 squads of infantry. There, that one's pinned. Will be forced to retreat as well. Panzerschreck into the house. Why would that flamethrower leave that car? I don't know. Panzerschreck is not firing for whatever reason. So he'll leave the building to get a better line. He's taken a lot of damage, but that squad is suppressed. He's going to get out of there anyway because he's just fallen too low. Siddolio could field a squad of infantry out of a building of either variety, Falls or Jaegers, to try and turn this engagement and wipe that gun.
Shock troops have arrived.
It's not doing it yet, though. It's just floating manpower like crazy. AA half-track getting a little risky. The well is in the way. And all flak bursts are basically blocked by that thing. And it has to pull back for repairs. M3 is being repaired as well, and there's shock troops. That's shock rifle chosen. And there's Jaegers out of the building for Siddolios, who he has chosen scavenge.
Shock troops
Not
can be used to
Luftwaffe.
crush the enemy.
Why is that M3 charging the flak half-track? Oh, it's taking so much damage. It's just sitting there. Okay. That thing is dead. The field gun wasn't even... Where is the field gun? Oh, it's way over there. It didn't even move to counter.
300 points stand between us and defeat.
Soviet players just base locked and making no progress anywhere. There is a forward retreat point upgraded, so Siddolio's retreats cost him very little. He'll have those squads back on the front line very soon. There's vet 1 on this, so he has smoke to protect it from field gun fire. Stern Pio screening against that thing overextending itself. 2 squads of infantry moving to push away everything here in the middle. Shock troops at least get unsuppressed. And the church is falling dangerously low, by the way. Grenade will probably topple the building. There it goes. Volksgrenadiers are fine. Successfully dodged. Take no damage. Stern Pios continue to deal damage to the field gun. Shock troops continue to be suppressed. There's the retreat. These 2 squads also moving to put pressure on that field gun. Will probably wipe it, and I think this is GG. I don't think there's anything Cradled Cat can do to recover this game. So, unless something drastically changes in the next several minutes, it looks like Von Kluge will not be forced to deny Siddolio further nominations. Siddolio upheld his end of the bargain. There's another wipe.
This is it. Back up to full force.
Capture complete. No enemy activity.
Watch your line of sight.
GG. Alright, Siddolio is the king! All hail King Siddolio!